Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Travis and Damian Podcast, episode 23. We are available on anchor.fm/Travis Damian Podcast, along with iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. Today, we're going to dive into some quick pieces of news, and then recent activities, then everything that happened at BlizzCon that we're kind of interested in. So, first piece of news is that Death Stranding is actually coming to PC early summer 2020, I believe.
Yes.
The game just came out today. So, people are diving into it. But I find that it's very interesting that Kojima decided to announce that this game is coming to PC before the game even came out. I think that this was, I think this would have been a lot better for them to announce it afterwards. Obviously, people that want to play it now, they will buy it on the PS4 and play it now. But I think that it would have been a little bit more appropriate to announce it afterwards.
Well, I actually like it that they announced it before the game came out, because some people would have been like, "Oh, I would prefer to play it on PC, but I guess I'll get it on PS4 because that's the only thing it's out on." But I guess Kojima's like, if you want to play it on PC, then just wait a little bit. It's gonna come out on PC. So I kind of see that as kind of pro-consumer that he did it before the release date, so people could be like, "Hey, you have a choice now if you want on PS4 or PC." Obviously, if you want it earlier, you're gonna get on PS4, but if you could wait a little bit and you'd rather play on PC, then you could, not spend your money on the PS4 version. So that's how I look at it anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure. It probably won't affect sales at all,
No,
because people that want to play Death Stranding will play Death Stranding now. But yeah, there is a PC version coming soon, which is very cool. But I know that this game has been getting interesting reviews, to say the least. But I digress.
Yeah, it's been it's either I love it or you hate it type of game. So, but yeah, I can't really comment on that because I have not played it, and I don't know if I will. But I guess we'll see. We'll see. All right, so here's some more exciting news for PC. EA is partnering with Valve, and they're going to put their games on Steam now. So, they've been promoting Fallen Order, I think, the Star Wars game. They've been promoting that on Steam now. Because, it's the EA game's going to be on Steam again. Because I think they were on Steam before, the whole, Origin EA Access thing and all that stuff. But, yeah, now you can do that all on Steam. So, I guess they just conceded to, all right, Origin, right? Is it called Origin? Yeah, Origin. Yeah. Origin isn't doing so well, so let's just put it on Steam. And I think that's a great move because, it's hard to say this because, you don't want Steam to have, a monopoly over, PC gaming and all that, because that isn't good for anyone. But, if EA could either fix Origin to make it better than Steam or just, give up and just put it on Steam, I guess that's fine. Because I still think, I know people harp on the Epic Game Store and it does deserve it. I do think Origin sucks, a lot. It was, the only time I ever got, someone went into my account and started playing stuff. I'm like, all right, yeah. And I had the two-step, thing, so I don't know what happened there. So, I don't have really good experiences with Origin. So, I think this is good news for a lot of people. Obviously, it sucks for EA, but who cares? Because the EA. And, I just think it's good. Oh, actually, it's going to work it is going to work like Uplay games, where you launch it through Steam and you buy it through Steam, but it's going to have the overlay of Origin. So a lot of Ubisoft games do this, where let's say you bought Far Cry 5 on Steam and you launch it. When you launch it, it's going to launch it like you're playing it on Uplay. So instead of having the Steam overlay, you're going to have the Uplay overlay. And that's how it's going to work with this as well. So yeah, so you still got kind of deal with Origin, but at least you could just buy it through Steam. So
definitely EA being pro-consumer, which is good. But like you said earlier, you don't want to throw everything onto Steam, because Steam, I would say before the Epic Store came out, kind of had a monopoly. But nowadays, I think there's definitely more people that use Steam still, because Steam is just Steam when it comes to PC gaming. But some people do use the Epic Game Store for certain games because they're either exclusive there or they got it on sale, this and that. But EA now being open to Steam again, I think, is pretty good. Obviously, it being the way Uplay works is a little bit of an inconvenience, but hey, at least you could just have it all on your Steam account, and you don't have to open up the client directly and have to play the game. You could actually just have Steam open, and then it'll do it all for you.
Yeah.
So But yeah, this is definitely going to be very interesting to go and see what happens, because EA was trying to get Origin to work, and they've been getting better with it. I'm not gonna lie, but obviously that security issue is definitely very interesting from your perspective, Damian.
Yeah, that was pretty trash. I hated that.
But I think Origin's definitely a lot better than it was a year ago, even so. But they're like, hey, we're gonna be buddies with Steam, so I think it's good that companies are just being more open with each other. So
yeah.
Okay, so some very interesting news. CourageJD, he is a 100 Thieves content creator / streamer. He is now streaming exclusively on YouTube. So last podcast, we forgot to talk about Shroud going to Mixer. So we'll talk about that first, because that's a little bit of older news. But Shroud going to Mixer, I know Shroud does have a lot of numbers in comparison to Ninja. They're like pretty close when they were both on Twitch. And the fact that both of them are now on Mixer is very interesting, because now Microsoft's just like, hey, we took like 2 of the biggest Twitch streamers and now they're on our platform. So people will now be either loyal to the platform or loyal to certain streamers. I think people that really love Ninja obviously continue watching him on there, but people that really love Shroud, I think Shroud he has a much more dedicated fan base from my understanding, so a lot more people are actually just like, yeah, I'll watch Shroud on Mixer, because they really like watching Shroud because he's pretty good at shooters.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you bring a good point, where it's like, I don't know if people are like, they're probably moving to Mixer just because of these two. Like, I don't know if Mixer is actually going to grow because, like, I don't know, maybe they might. Maybe these people might go on Mixer just for Shroud or Ninja, and then maybe to see some other streamers they like on Mixer, and then, Mixer expands from there. But I don't really think that's going to be the case. I think people are just going to watch it just because they like Shroud, and then they'll probably go back on Twitch to watch whoever, else they were like sub to or whatever. It's always weird when they do these like buyouts and things. Same thing with the Epic Game Store. Like, people are going to buy exclusives there. So like something like Outer Worlds that was only released on the Epic Game Store or on, the Game Pass for Microsoft. But, they're probably not going to use the Epic Game Store for anything else. They're probably just going to buy it for the exclusive and just buy everything else on Steam again. So it's kind of weird how these things work. Like, yeah, like no one's going to notice your platform unless you do stuff like this. But it's also like, if it works or not, just like, I don't think it usually works in the end of the day. But I guess we'll see, I guess, if Mixer actually grows like due to this, or if Microsoft is going to keep buying these big streamers. So
yeah, so I think Shroud is definitely like probably number 2 next to Ninja before.
Yeah.
When it comes to like, shooting games and stuff like that. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Dr. Disrespect, because he's one of like the last like really well-known Twitch streamers. So maybe he'll stay with Twitch if Twitch throws him, a couple $1,000. But CourageJD going to YouTube Gaming is also very interesting, because remember, when it comes to Twitch, that's Amazon. Mixer, that's obviously Microsoft, and now YouTube, that's Google.
Yeah.
So all of these big companies are just trying to get these streamers locked into their platform, and I guess YouTube threw Courage a big enough of a bag, as the kids would say, for him to actually stream on the platform exclusively, which is pretty cool, because this is now the first Twitch streamer to leave Twitch for YouTube. So I wonder if they're gonna keep doing that, because YouTube streaming is definitely very weird. I don't normally use it.
Me either. Like, I think it's good for like maybe E3 stuff or something, but I feel like the chat interface and stuff, like, it just feels like you're watching a normal YouTube video with a live chat on the side, but like it doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't feel like it was built for it. Like, I don't know. It never feels like great. At least to me, anyway. It feels like the weakest out of the 3, like Twitch, Mixer, and then YouTube, like for live streaming. But yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. Basically. Yeah,
I have no idea how Courage's numbers are, but yeah, this is like gonna be very interesting to see how this one plays out, because this is the first person going to YouTube, which most Twitch streamers actually use YouTube as like a highlight or like VOD sort of outlet. So the fact that now he's just like, hey, I'm streaming on here as well. I wonder how that's going to all play out, because he's the first one to do it for YouTube anyway. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so next we got something totally not related to that. We got Smash Ultimate. So they showed, or I guess Sakurai showed Terry Bogard in the same way he showed off Joker and Banjo, and he kind of just talked about the character, like not really heavily edited or anything, it was just him playing the character and showing his moves. Like the first bit is basically what you're used to, like he showed off the character and all his different moves. He basically played how I thought he was gonna play, where he's more like a Street Fighter type character, or like an actual fighting game, like I guess character, where he has like button inputs and stuff like that. Where if you do it right, you could do more damage. He also has a cool thing where he has two side two side specials. Usually every Smash character only has one side special. Like it doesn't matter where your analog stick is when you press B. Like you just do the same side special. With Terry, it depends on if he's facing the opponent, he does one special, and if facing like away from it, the other person, you do a different one. So that's really cool. And he doesn't really have, like, I guess I'll just talk about my experiences before we get into this, because I played Terry, and I actually do like him. I wasn't expecting to like him that much because I don't really like Ryu or Ken that much, because they're like, it's not like that complicated. I just don't really dig them that much. But Terry's pretty fun, and I don't really know why I feel that way. Like I feel like he's really similar to Ryu and Ken, but his specials maybe feel a little bit better to use. Like his neutral B, like it seems like a lot faster than Hadouken. I love his two side specials. He has like a charging one if you press side B towards an opponent, and that seems pretty useful. And I really like his backwards special where you do like this sort of like kick, like it's like bouncing fish except you don't bounce, like you kind of just go into arc, and it's really nice. His down B is so fun. It's called Power Dunk or something, where it's like Incineroar's up B, but like not like garbage. Like you just hit them up, and I think you could combo with it too. So that looks fun. And his up B is not that special. It's kind of just like a spinning kick upward. But yeah, I actually do like the character a lot. And I guess to go more into the presentation, he showed off that, and then he showed off the new stage that we got. I saw Twitch chat and they were like prejudging the stage because it's just a walk off because it looks like one, but it's actually not. There's like an invisible wall right next to where the edge would be when you could just walk off the stage. And the gimmick for that stage is you just hit them enough until they like break through that invisible wall and then die. And I think that's a pretty interesting concept for like a walk off stage where it basically acts like a regular fighting game stage. And then, the more percent you have and the closer you are to the wall, then you just break through the wall and then, you die like a typical Smash game. So I think that's like a really cool gimmick for walk-off stages because usually they suck. Like they're not that fun because, you could just kind of just throw someone to the edge over and over and just die and it's garbage. But I think that was a cool way to have that stage like, stand out from the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And the last big thing to note was his stage also has 50 pieces of music, which is insane. I think like 13 or so are remixed. That's just insane. Like 50 pieces of, that's more than some first party Nintendo characters in that in Smash. Like that's insane. But overall, he also went on to show like different like cameos and things like that. And like I guess people are talking about this. One of the characters, a pretty well known one. She was not in like sort of like the cameo roster because like a bunch of characters in the background, and Sakurai just said that she was too lewd for Smash, so rest in peace.
This game's for boys and girls.
Yeah, it's for little boys and girls. It was pretty good. But yeah, besides that, I really like Terry. I honestly really like all the DLC characters they have added. Even for Terry, I wasn't that excited like I was with all the other DLC characters, but that really turned me around once I actually played them. So. Yeah, overall, this whole fighter pass has been very solid. So I can't wait to see the last character of this pack, and then see whatever the next other fighters will be or how many we're even gonna get. So yeah, overall, I'm really digging Terry. He's fun.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot that they were doing this because first off, they like did this at like 5 a.m. Eastern time.
I think they did it like 8 o'clock. I didn't watch it live, but. I'll watch it later. Yeah.
They did it like pretty early in the morning, and like I was like, no, I'm not having it. But yeah, I mean, Terry was a interesting addition for myself personally because I was like, they're gonna add this like SNK fighter. So how are they going to do that? And like you said, I'm honestly not surprised he controls like a traditional fighter.
Yeah.
Like Ryu and Ken. So that is good, but. we're just gonna have to wait and see what the last fighter is, because that has me more interested, honestly.
Oh yeah, they're probably gonna show at the Game Awards. That's what I think. Like Joker,
probably saving it.
Yeah. So, all right.
We got recent activities.
Yeah.
So I'll go first because I got actually less than you. So first up, League of Legends, obviously. I've been playing that a little bit more because the season ends, like, what is it? I think it's soon, like less than 2 weeks or something like that. So I kind of need to get back to at least Masters. So hopefully I could do that. But, you know, honestly, I think this season's been doomed from the start. If you've been watching the podcast, you know that I've been, like, complaining about how the rank system's been and, like, the MMR in the beginning. And, like, they tried to fix it, but they really didn't. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully next season none of this bullshit happens, because that would be another year wasted for me. But anyways, next thing is Jackbox 6. So Jackbox 6, I'm probably going to do a video on it. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm still going to talk about it here. Trivia Murder Party 2, it's pretty much the same thing as Trivia Murder Party 1, but in order to get out, it's not about who answers the most questions. Once you reach the end, you have to get all of the answers on the last question to get out.
Yeah, get them all right. Yeah.
That is a good mechanic to add, because, you know, some people would just, like, RNG cheese their way through. And then we had Dictionarium, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much people make up words, and you have to, like, make up definitions and this and that. So that game's pretty good, honestly. Very surprised by that one, because I'm like, I hate words, but if we're going to make them up and just add, you know, random definitions to them, why not? Push the button. It's pretty much, what's that goddamn game?
It's like those social deduction games, you know, like Town of Salem or Werewolf or Mafia, all those type of games. It's like that, yeah. Yeah,
pretty much. And you have to figure out who's the alien. So
yeah,
that is pretty fun. To go and, you know, play, because I suck at lying. So when I am the alien, it's just blatantly obvious. And then Joke Boat. I think Joke Boat might be my favorite in terms of, like, just playing with, like, any, like, group of friends or whatever. Because you just have to make jokes and just, like, make fun of each other and just, like, try to get a laugh. And then Role Models is about, like, how well do you know your group of friends. So Role Models, I would definitely recommend to people that are, like, really close with each other in terms of, like, friendship. Like, you guys know each other, like, for, like, years and this and that. So that game is pretty good, especially, you know, if you have the right group of people. But we were playing with, like, some people that we kind of knew but not really, so the game wasn't, you know, all that great. It was still fun, but, you know, like, certain, like, role models and, like, personality test things that went on in that game weren't exactly 100%, but you know what, it is just how it's just how the game works when you don't, you know everyone exactly. So
right.
But yeah, overall I think this party pack is more solid. I think Jackbox 5 had a lot of, like, weaker games, if I can remember correctly. Let me see, what was Jackbox 5? I just think that Jackbox 5 didn't have as many strong games as this one. Yeah, definitely Jackbox 6 has a much more solid lineup where I think every single game can stand on its own. Jackbox 5 had a lot of games like Zeppel Dome and, like...
I don't know what that one was.
You don't know Jack. Like, you don't know Jack's fine. It's just that when it's on a party pack, I don't want to play it, because I think that Trivia Murder Party is just more creative and more fun. But overall, Jackbox 6 is definitely pretty good. It's $30, so maybe you want to wait for the Steam Winter Sale for it to go on sale, but it's definitely a fun time, once again, as all of the Jackbox games are, regardless of how many great games and how many, you know, solid games there are. Jackbox 6 is pretty good. Can't even get my words out. And then last thing I did was I saw Zombieland 2 Double Tap, because I was like, I saw the first one, and supposedly this one's pretty good. It is entertaining, I will say that. The way the story goes is kind of like a follow-up to the first game, I think. I'm not sure if they disclose how much time has actually passed. I think it actually does take place 10 years after, but, you know, it's just like, you know, one of those movies that you watch and there's a couple of good jokes in there, but it's entertaining. They did have a post-credit scene, which I already walked out of the theater, so I didn't get to see it, but if they want to make more, they can, but I don't know how long that'll last. But, a sequel to a movie that's like 10 years old is kind of like risky. So, but this movie did do, all of these zombie movie tropes and this and that, but at the same time adding its own comedic humor and whatever. So,
Zombieland cinematic universe, get ready for that.
But that's all I've done.
All right, so I guess I'll go next. So I've been playing. So, like I said, I think last podcast, I felt like playing some more 3D platformers. So I decided to play Mario Galaxy again. And the game is very good. I had to hook. I hate the Wii U and setting that thing up so much. I remember we set up that thing so many times, during the tournaments during high school, and then you guys just coming over. I hated setting up the Wii U. It's so annoying because you have the HDMI cable, and then you have the sensor, and then you have the charger for the stupid gamepad. I'm like, dude, I hate setting this thing up. So I finally just set it up forever, and I'm just gonna leave it there in my room. And I was just like, you know what? Let me play some Mario Galaxy because this is backwards compatible, so I could do that. And yeah, I've been playing through it, and the game is, again, it's one of my favorite Mario games and just 3D platformers in general. And yeah, it holds up extremely well. I remember the game being a lot harder, maybe because I was just stupid, I was just bad at video games when I was younger. Because I remember some of these, a lot of these, not purple coins, because I'm doing those right now, so that might change my mind. But a lot of the Daredevil comments and the Mario, Cosmic Mario races and things like that. I remember some of those just being impossible as a kid, and now I could just do them in one try. I'm like, man, maybe I was just bad because I remember this game being hard, and it's not. So yeah, I've been, I'm almost to 100%. I'm 90 something stars. So yeah, I'm basically almost done with it. But yeah, Mario Galaxy still holds up. Love it. I love that game to death. I might play the sequel afterward. I don't know. We'll see how I feel, but. Yeah, it's nice to relive those memories because it's a great game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love Galaxy. Next, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 because the new patch came out. And the most interesting thing to say about it is they brought in the Nier raid, which was, Nier is hard to explain, but basically it's another JRPG that came out 2017. I think I talked about that when it came out, and it was very, very good. So it's it's not a weird crossover because they're both owned by Square, Nier and Final Fantasy, so it kind of makes sense. But thematically, not really, since Final Fantasy is more medieval and that game is very futuristic. But it's kind of cool how they mushed them together in this cool raid and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. Not too much to say story wise. It was the creator of Nier says this raid is canon to that story, which is really weird, but not much really happened, so I'm looking forward to the next raid tier in 6 months or whatever, whenever that comes out. But yeah, overall it was really cool. There was a really nice remix of the credit song and the Final Fantasy theme, and it was very good. Enjoy that raid a lot. And next, I finally saw Joker. I saw it last week.
So we're gonna do spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to hear spoilers for this movie, just skip to the BlizzCon stuff. So. Continue.
Yeah. Okay, so Joker, I really liked it. I know some people say it was boring because not a lot much actually happens really. I guess if you want to be super cynical about it, but I really liked it because the whole movie made me feel so tense the whole time, just because you never know when this dude is gonna snap, right? You never know when he's just gonna completely lose it, and when it does happen, oh god, it happened, I guess going to more specific points, I really like Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. I think he did a really good job. The only thing I felt that was maybe a little overdone in his performance was the whole laughing disorder thing. I felt that's kind of okay, I get it. I get he's the Joker and stuff like that, but you didn't have to make a whole reason why he's laughing at being sad or whatever. That was a little weird, but besides that, I thought his performance was super solid. He really when he made you cringe, you physically felt it when he made a really bad joke or did something weird in public. He does a really good job making you feel uncomfortable and things like that. And sorry for him too, all the horrible things that happened to him with Thomas Wayne and his mom and all that stuff. You really you feel sorry for him and you can understand why he became the Joker and things like that. Another good part of this movie I really liked was the whole fake out with his love interests or whatever.
Okay, yeah, hold up.
Yeah.
When I was watching the movie,
yeah,
I was like, is this shit actually happening?
Me
but
too, yeah.
afterwards I was like, oh yeah, wait, that shit wasn't real. Okay, yeah, he was just making that shit all up in his head, and I was like, wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, that got me, because I mean, like, even when he just like, you know, she's in the elevator with him, and then like I guess like after like a long day, he just walked into her house and then like started kissing her. That was like the first like bit, and then she was just with him throughout most of the movie. And then, you know, again, he had a really hard day. So he went up the elevator and he's just like in her house. And he's like, who the hell are you? I'm like, or like, why are you in my house? I'm like, oh, it was all in his head, dude. I'm like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like the movie also had really cool connections with Batman. Like, wow, like really like, you know, because he's not Batman yet. But,
yeah.
You know, I like that they made Thomas Wayne like a big dick. And like, you know, you don't really know who to believe. Like, you don't know if he really, like, if the mom was really crazy, like, you know, Joker's mom was actually really crazy, or if Thomas Wayne was sort of covering up. I think, you know, he was covering up, and that's my theory, that he was covering it up, and the mom was kind of innocent, I think. I don't really know, because they don't really make it that clear, and that's really cool about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a very interesting, like, connection between, like, Batman and Joker, and I don't know if they're going to do a sequel, but that would be cool if they did go more into that, I guess. But, yeah, and then, you know, obviously the big final bit when he's in the talk show and things like that, and then he's giving his whole speech and things was also pretty well done. I feel like maybe the last line he did when, like, we live in a society, I'm like, okay. Again, there wasn't too many bits that really bothered. The only things that felt kind of, like, a little over, like, okay, I get it, was the laughing fits and stuff like that. And the and that line was just like, we live in a society. He didn't say that exactly, but you know what I mean. But yeah, besides that, I thought it was very well done. I could see how people think it might be a little boring, because you know, not a lot really does happen. But I didn't think that, it was great, so I liked it a lot.
It was definitely a really good comic book movie. Not for reasons because it wasn't like a traditional comic book movie. Yeah. Because like Marvel movies have been such like a staple these days, where it's like you have to be like Marvel to be like a successful like action superhero movie. But this one's a R-rated. It's about a super villain, and it's very different, and it acts like an actual movie. And that's why some people found it to be boring, and some people weren't as engaged as they were. And yeah, I mean, that's just their problem, because they don't have actual taste within real movies, I would say. Yeah. Like, no offense to those people that found, you know, Joker boring or whatever, but like if you rewatch the movie as like a movie and not like, you know, a superhero blockbuster sort of film, it's a good movie, because like the way it's directed, the way they developed Joker's character and everything like that was like really well done. And yeah, you know, like I didn't know, like when I was watching the movie, I didn't know if I should feel bad for him or if like I should be rooting for him, because like this is the bad guy after all. Yeah. Which is like a very interesting take on the whole superhero genre, and I really like that. And you know, the whole like connections with Batman, some people liked it, some people didn't. I honestly really liked them, just because they were like subtle but not like, you know, too like ham-fisted. And then with his whole mom being like crazy and everything like that, like I think she was like somewhat like mentally unstable. Yeah. But you know, I'm not sure if Thomas Wayne was covering it or what. You know, like we might not never know the truth to that. But yeah, like overall, like it was a pretty good movie. And like, you know, the whole like media thing with like, oh, this is gonna cause insult violence and this and that. Like that was just like the media like trying to rile something up, because like low key, like they actually want that to happen so they could get clicks on like their fucking news website or whatever. Yeah. Which is fucking pathetic. But yeah, like I think I said this in the last episode, like there were people coming in and out of the theater that like people that worked there trying to like make sure that no funny business was going on, which is fucking ridiculous. But you know, overall, like it is a really good movie. If you still have yet to see it, I think it's still in theaters. So if you want, you can still go see it. But you know what? If you don't feel safe, that's fine. That's just because that's what the media wants you to feel. And you could just wait for it to go on Blu-ray, digital, or Pirate Bay it, whatever you gotta do to watch this movie, because it is honestly really good. And I hope we get more superhero movies that aren't just superhero movies, but are actual like movies like this.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the character, I guess. Like, you know, for Joker, is like, you know, I probably would expect a more like creepy, sort of like sad like story like this. And yeah, I guess it just depends on the character. Like I thought Logan was also really good, and yeah, it had like a bunch of superhero parts in it too. But it felt more like just like an action movie, I guess. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but yeah, obviously, if you watch something like Deadpool, yeah, you're gonna get something like more comic booky and stuff like that. But yeah, with Joker, just don't really. I think even if you don't like superhero or comic movies, I think you would enjoy Joker. And if you do enjoy comic book movies, then just like this is different. Like don't expect it to be like Marvel or something. So
it's definitely very, very different. The one scene that was like kind of like freaking me out was when like his like former coworkers like came by. And then he killed the big guy, and then the small dude was like trying to unlock the door, but he's too small. And I was like, bro, there's some like dark ass humor.
I just like let him go. He didn't do anything wrong to you, dude. He was the only nice guy. I think he said that too. I'm like, good.
Yeah. So he has his reasons for doing what he's doing, but obviously he's still the bad guy in the end. But yeah, like that scene was pretty much like him turning into the Joker, pretty much, and that was just a really cool scene to watch. A little uneasy for me, but I was just like, this is the Joker, so it is what it is.
They did a good job.
Definitely.
But yeah, I guess we could talk about BlizzCon now. Spoilers are over. So yeah, I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to BlizzCon is, the whole Hong Kong thing still happening because that's still awful, and Blizzard didn't really make that better. So before the opening keynote, the president or CEO, I'm not actually too sure, he walked up on stage and just basically said, sorry, but not really. Like, I don't know. His apology felt like, I joined in a little late to the stream, and his apology felt like he was reading like sorry for delaying this game update. Like, it didn't feel sincere at all. Like, it was just like there was just no emotion to it. Like, they obviously just didn't really care that much. People were like blowing up Blizzard for this anyway, and they deserve it because the apology they give was just like not good. Like, they just basically was just a whole lot of nothing. Them saying sorry, but whatever. Who really cares? So yeah, that really sucks, and it sucks too because this was the BlizzCon I wanted last year. Like last year, I was really hyped for BlizzCon. And then it was garbage because do you guys not have phones? And then I felt very disappointed. All the announcements in this BlizzCon are basically what I wanted in last BlizzCon, but the wind kind of gets knocked out of its sails because of all this Hong Kong stuff and Blizzard being trash. So it's just like, it's very conflicting. But I can still talk about the game announcements anyway. So I guess first they actually revealed Diablo 4, but Overwatch 2 first. But let's ignore that for a second. So Diablo 4, this was a thing that's been hinted at forever. And I thought it was going to be on last BlizzCon, but it wasn't. But it showed in this BlizzCon. And I think it looks really good, but it's kind of hard to judge it because Diablo 3, like a lot of the problems Diablo 3 people had with it was more like character building and itemization. Like those are things you can't really gather just from gameplay. And I think a lot of people will agree that, Diablo 3 feels really good to play and it's really fun to like murder things. But like and how you build your character is very limited, and like all your items and stuff like is also very limited, like compared to Diablo 4. So the gameplay they showed of Diablo 2, whatever, Diablo 4 anyway. They showed the gameplay, and the game looks really fun. It looks like Diablo 3 and stuff like that, but like graphically a lot nicer. But again, it's just hard to judge if the game's gonna be good on that from the gameplay alone, just because big part about Diablo is building builds and all that min-maxing stuff. And we don't really know that yet. And apparently the game's still very far off. They say it's not even Blizzard soon, so that at least means like at least maybe three years from now I would guess this game is going to come out. So apparently it's going to come out for a while. But again, what they show of it looked really good. I like the theming seems to be dark again. Like it's like Diablo 3 was a little lighthearted for some reason, which was weird. Like, Diablo's supposed to be very bleak and grim dark and stuff like that. And it seems like going back to that sort of thing with Diablo 4. So that made a lot of people happy, myself included. So yeah, from what I saw, it looks good, but I'm going to hold out a little bit just until we see more information. So yeah. And the next thing that I really want to touch on is Overwatch 2, since this one seems to be coming out a lot sooner. First off, this game, it seems like it wasn't even meant to be like an Overwatch 2. It seems a lot more like an expansion, since the gameplay they did show of Overwatch 2 basically looks exactly like Overwatch 1. But they're just calling it Overwatch 2 because I guess they learned a lesson from all the other expansions, because Blizzard they're big on expansions. StarCraft has 3 of them. Diablo 3 has 1, and then obviously WoW has like a billion. But I think they learned from the StarCraft expansions that they just don't sell as much anymore because, you know, you have to buy the base game and then the expansions, and it's like whatever. And they're not as marketable. Like if you say Overwatch 2, that's a bigger deal than just saying like Overwatch PvE edition or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah. So yeah, it's got Overwatch 2. It's cool that they're like, you know, if you own Overwatch 1, you're still going to get all the new maps from 2 and characters. The only thing you won't get is the new like story mode and stuff like that, which is like sort of like the main point why this exists and why they like overhauled the engine a little bit to make it fit for PvE. And yeah, I guess I could talk about that now. PvE, that's in Overwatch now, and that's been something I kind of wanted forever. Most of their events have to do with PvE. So like the Halloween event, you're like gotta defend a door from like a bunch of like zombie robots, and then there was a lot of like during the anniversary event, there's they give you like a new story mission, but like it's only like one of them. It's not like to this scale. So yeah, now they're adding story missions, which I'm guessing, again, I didn't read a lot of the panels afterward, but from what I'm gathering, it looks like Left 4 Dead, where you get like 4 heroes and then you just do a mission and things like that, and like, you can just play it over and over again, like Left 4 Dead 2 or, you know, Left 4 Dead. And yeah, that looks really cool. You know, you could do a bunch of different missions in different countries. You could level up your heroes and get new different abilities. So like Genji's sword, you know, he'll like when you activate your ult, he pulls out his sword and you can do melee stuff. With one of like the augments to his ultimate, he could like pull out his sword and then he could shoot like sword beams out of it. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. And a lot of the problems that a lot of people are having, like, hey, if we buy Overwatch 2, will our cosmetics like transfer? And apparently it will. So yeah, it seems to be like, again, it's just an expansion in all but name. Like you're just paying for the PvE and like that's it. Or it should be anyway. If this is more than $40, then that's kind of dumb. But yeah, overall, I think it looks good. I wanted a PvE in Overwatch for a while. I think it fits it quite well, kind of like TF2 with man versus machine, but this is done in like a bigger scale and with like more story beats and things like that. So yeah, I'm excited for it. But again, all that gets kind of like overshadowed by all the horrible things Blizzard done in the past month. So yeah, take that of what you will. But there's still cool game announcements. But yeah, it's kind of a yikes now, you know?
Yeah, I really don't know what to say about BlizzCon, because I know that there were a lot of protesters that actually attended BlizzCon still.
Yeah.
Just to be like, free Hong Kong, you know? But the whole Overwatch 2 thing, I heard that they, like, supposedly they leaked it to, like, draw hype for it or something like that. I'm not sure if that's actually true.
I don't know if that's true. Yeah, people have conspiracy theories, like, oh, they just revealed Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 to, like, quell the flames and things like that. I don't think that's true, because we knew about Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 for the past, like, year. Like, none of these were surprises, at least not to me. So, yeah, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe you could say they revealed it now for that, but I highly doubt it. I feel like they were going to announce Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 this BlizzCon regardless, but yeah,
they fucked up.
Yeah, but they still messed up. Like, I think this was just a really nice coincidence for Blizzard, where now people are like, you know, they're not okay with what they did, but they're willing to overlook it now. So yeah, I just think it's like a really good coincidence for them, but that's about it.
Yeah, like, I mean, I haven't played Overwatch since, like, it launched, so I'm not exactly sure how the game is doing now. But you know what? If they want to release a sequel to it, because they made so many changes, and, you know, the fact that you said that, you know, people don't like the fact that, oh, it's an expansion, that means I have to buy the base game as well. So,
yeah,
you know, there's a bigger paywall if you do it like that as, like, a expansion. So they were just like, all right, we're just going to relaunch it as a new game, which is fine. And then Diablo 4, I know that this was something that a lot of people were wondering last year, but now it's here. But they already fucked up, and I think a lot of people have already abandoned the Blizzard train. But, you know, if those few people that decide to, you know, stay along and actually play these games, you know, hopefully they are good games, but they don't, you know, they don't forget that they did this shitty thing still, you know?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's hard, you know, like, if Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, like, I'm probably gonna get them, but like, I'm not gonna feel good about it. I don't know. You're in a shitty situation regardless. It's like the same thing with what's going on with Pokemon right now, right? People are very mad at Pokemon because of the whole Pokedex cuts and things like that. And I kind of hate when people are like hating on the people buying it, because it's like, like when you boycott something or you're not happy with something, you should mostly do that for yourself and like be like, okay, I don't want this because this is like messing with my values. But you shouldn't demonize other people because they probably know, but they still want to like, you know, play it. Like, I don't know. It's a whole complex thing, you know? So yeah,
that's when politics get involved. Cause,
that's
not fun.
Don't yell at other people just because they maybe want to play something, you know, just yell at Blizzard or China. You know, it's hard, you know. Just
like take it into your own actions and not, you know, demonize others like you said.
Or maybe if you buy Overwatch 2, donate like $60 to like the Hong Kong effort. There you go. You cancel it out.
Yeah, even it out a little.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, BlizzCon it happened and I'm just over Blizzard at this point. So
yeah.
Guess I'm part of the cancel culture, but they did a pretty shitty thing, so you can't necessarily blame me.
StarCraft, we're StarCraft, Blizzard.
My God, I don't know, man. I have no idea. Anyways, it's not like, you know, I don't forget that like Riot did those things about like farting on their like fucking coworkers and like saying sexual things, but like, you know, this is like a game that I still want to play. I know that they did these shitty things, but I'm still playing it. Anyways, enough of that. Is there anything else you'd like to add, good sir?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, so thank you guys for listening to the Travis and Damian Podcast, episode 23. We will be back 2 weeks from now with another episode.
See ya.